it in the early phases. So it's maybe not that weird, but it's pretty risky, I'd say, running these kind of lineups. Like, you're already committed to split pushing almost. One of your two roles that are mainly, a lot of the times, the biggest team fighters are already split pushers. So Vega could go a strategy that they're kind of looking for already with a Warlock Terrorblade, 5-man push, and you might just not even have a chance in the end.
It is a pretty fast push rate for Nature's Prophet. IO, I mean, if he's going up with one of his more classic IO buddies, can usually push pretty quickly as well, but I mean, as you said, it's really hard to outrace a Terrorblade when he decides that he wants your towers down. And I'm assuming Vega Squadron will also have a little bit more physical damage coming out from perhaps their mid laner to contribute into that push as well. It is a delicate game whenever you're trying to race for objectives. Like, depending on the game state, you may or may not even want to make tower trades. So Navi will have a good portion of time where this is just a perfectly reasonable, perfectly feasible way to play the game. But as far as actually winning the game, that's where you usually see these drafts struggle a little bit, because they usually have to go up and ball up if they want to take serious objectives, and at that point they usually can't win those team fights.
Yeah, we're gonna see. It's still pretty early, so both teams can change up the draft quite a lot. It's not like Navi are really committed to split push either. Prophet is actually the new talent of Prophet, and you can go, like, I feel like you can go so many items on that hero, and you're so versatile. So you see drums a lot. I think you can go mech. You can go a mech and push, even though they changed the armor, the tower, so they tank more against 5-man, or for those who don't know, I can't explain it properly, but if you know, you understand what I mean.
They're just
so
tanky.
It's a bit worse. Yeah, the towers are tankier when they're more heroes, so you don't really want to 5-man push, but you can still do it. Prophet with the early level 10 talent that gives him 250 HP, I think. So at level 10, he's like, if he went like Freds and mech, he can have like 1400 HP, and he's not gonna die, and he will always get mech off, and you can just like push from that. So there's some, and also you can just go the like old school split push Prophet. You can go Necrobook if you want. You can go Aghanims. So there's like a lot of options in this hero. So it's not set in stone anything yet. Now we're gonna go Disruptor, which is also a bit like you can catch, you can like split push, and Disruptor is very good at catching heroes, like forcing them back, and they TP, you glimpse him back, you kill that person, then Nature's Prophet and IO comes back and defends when some TP'd and some got caught. So now we're set up to be able to punish if they can force Vega to move the way they want.
It's a decent hero to have up against Terrorblade, full stop, but it's also a really good hero to have whenever, if you expect the enemy team to be going for that 5-man push style that we were talking about earlier, just because, yeah, you'll be able to put some damage to the tower, but the awkward part is afterwards when you're trying to make your retreat. You retreat as 5, but you know that one person is most likely going to have to struggle up against that Disruptor, so it is a way for Navi to force those engagements. And now Storm Spirit, they are going very, very pick-off heavy. It seems like they had the flexibility. I feel like until this pick happened from the Storm, they are just looking to pick heroes off. And Vega, they have so many responses now. Nick Assassin, of course, great up against the Storm Spirit, but between him and the Spirit Breaker, Vega's early game kind of mobility around the map is pretty substantial as well.
Yeah, this is some interesting stuff. And Vega are gonna ban Slark because Navi ran his exact lineup, but with a Slark. I'm expecting them to know that and ban Slark, even though maybe it's not a great Slark game, but I feel like that's a pretty good way. But it's so fast, like both of these teams know exactly what they want to do this game. So we're gonna see some of the, everyone has their comfort picks, both teams are doing what they want to do. So it's pretty fun to see that. So we're gonna see the best of Navi against the best of Vega, at least when it comes to drafting. And yeah, gonna be the start ban, pop ban from Navi. Just a lane dominator. I think Navi kinda needs to snowball a bit from lanes, more so than Vega does, because Vega has a teamfight hero, as in Navi doesn't, and I think it's easier to come back teamfight heroes if you don't have any teamfight. If you're only relying on split push and some pickoffs, you kinda wanna be ahead all game long.
5 seconds remaining.
They kinda would like a teamfight hero, but Pycat generally doesn't play those type of heroes. He plays like Ursa, Slark, Troll Warlord, maybe a Weaver, stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, usually just you don't expect huge team fight contribution come out from your one position role, and well, Pycat's still looking for his hero, and he is Yeah, gonna have some serious options for sure. It does seem like he's gonna have to just go full on split push train and just try to win the map on the global scale. There are many ways for a lifestealer to get in. It's not really fantastic right now, but it does seem like Pycat will struggle to get into the targets that really matter when you have, you know, the Warlock Rock to worry about. Spirit Breaker, Nick Assassin, obviously very disruptive as well. Now Vega Squadron pick up Alina as their last pick. Good matchup up against the Storm Spirit, and for Navi, Disruptor, Io, I mean, they can help out the Storm Spirit to not die in the lane, but they're not really going to be proactively pressuring the Lina.
Yeah, I think Vega has a very strong lanes set up, and I think Navi, really wonder what they... Like, this would normally be like an Ursa or Troll, so I'm expecting one of those two. The other options aren't really that good. Jagger could be fine, still in the pool actually, kinda surprisingly. He went through this far. All of these carries actually, there's a lot of carry options left. There's not a lot of bans on that role, so they have a lot of options if they're versatile. I don't know how versatile Packet is. I think he tends to play a few heroes more so than play like Burning and play like 200. It's gonna be the Jagger, yeah. I think that was probably the better option. Like Ursa is kind of weak against these, a lot of stuns, you know, like it's easy to sunder on Ursa who's in the middle of the fight. Jagger at least has the Omni Slash, has Manta Illusion, stuff like this, so it's not always like you can like, oh, there's a sunder target. That's how Ursa works. Ursa runs in and Turblade's like, oh, I'm gonna sunder that guy when I need to, because he's always gonna be in the middle of the fight. But Jagger's a bit harder, so I like that adjustment.
Very easy to have a very quick, immediate impact. When you're a Juggernaut and you get relocated into the fight, you just jam that Omni Slash button and you're probably going to do some damage. And as you said, Ursa up against this many stuns from Vega Squadron, Reflection from Terrorblade, the fact that Ursa will struggle to kill off a Terrorblade times because of how tanky the Terrorblade is. I feel like how they have this immediate contribution hero coming out from this Juggernaut. And, you know, in this patch, in this day and age, the Juggernaut pick, ooh-wee, how bold. Do these guys really still not have any tower levels?
Bugged? I feel like someone should have it, right? I don't know. Actually, in a captain's mode, I wonder if it possibly is bugged in captain's mode.
Maybe it's just a lot harder to get captain's mode towers for some reason.
I actually don't know about it. Okay, both teams are gonna TP out. One of their supports Beaver on top lane. Bottom. Maybe we should do introduction. This is the game 1 actually.
Yeah, we got ourselves a best of 3 on the day, and well, Vega, they're gonna be loading out on the Radiant side. Afterlife, Assassin, handling the lane up towards top G on his Lina. I feel like I see him play this hero all the time. Sioma's gonna be on the Spirit Breaker, helping out the Re-AO on the Terrorblade, who I'm gonna quickly check to see if that's actually who it should be. His is gonna be on the Warlock.
In general, with the taunts, I think taunting has become popular because of a certain Brazilian team. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have taunt binded until they played in the major. Now I have taunt bind now, and now I use it quite a lot. And I also see people do it more. I don't know if they just think it's funny or if it's trying to mind game.
Well, now everyone's gonna build up a resistance taunting. It's like a mental block where it's like, oh, he's taunting. That's perfectly normal. Standard plays right there.
I mean, people are gonna like scale it up, you know. There's gonna be item denies and like attempt like the same, you know, the drop basher and fake attack it and cancel, pick it up. It's gonna just escalate into something incredibly stupid.
Well, General is seriously taunting on this Nature's Prophet, making it rain. Definitely a comfortable hero for him. Same thing over towards mid, Dendi. Storm Spirit, this should be Snako on the IO, although I have no idea what this name is. He's tagged up as Pycat Jug Giver, as Disruptor, and yeah. It is going to be pretty much exactly the lanes you would expect. Dendi gonna get charged. I think he's gonna at least grab him the bounty rune, which is pretty much all he wanted. That's gonna be a 3-1 split.
Yeah, it's kind of common to this ward was like specifically placed to almost do that. Like half the reason this ward has been placed from Sima was to steal the bounty, so he's like, I want the value back from this. I'm gonna steal their bounty. Io was blocking mid, also gone on Iron Talon. Yeah. Pretty much standard, I'd say. Maybe like 50-50, like what people do, but it's very common to see Io Iron Talon However, he going to some place where Iron Talon is probably not going to be that efficient.
Sioma circled all the way behind the enemy tier 2 into the enemy jungle to get a charge on Dendi, and this damage starting to add up quite a bit. And again, this lineup of supports for Navi, they don't really assertively pressure Lina, whereas when you're running a Spirit Breaker, you're going to be sitting on the mid lane Storm Spirit as much as possible. For you have mana, really, you're going to be looking for those charges. So Dendi, he will need his bottle very quickly, and even when you do get the bottle, the Lina should have something very similar as far as her sustained damage output is concerned. We'll make it a little bit of a struggle.
Oh god, Io might be dead if Silent body blocks like a champion. Kinda try to body block too much, but gonna force a shrine from Sonic. And he might actually die, maybe terribly close, maybe. Because he doesn't have tether, so he can't get out really.
Well, zero armor, base. He will survive. That is a pretty big asset for both General and Dendi, really. Now down the tubes, kind of wasted just to keep this Io alive. Of course, it is worth it. You don't want your Io to die there. You don't want to give up first blood, obviously. But now Dendi, I mean, those dings and scratches I was mentioning earlier will stick a little bit more on this Storm Spirit. He is going to do just fine in this lane CS-wise. Like, you take a lot of damage, but the amount of base damage Storm Spirit has, especially with Overload, usually you're not going to really struggle to get this CS. Even under the tower, you should be just fine. So, he will be fine in the grand scale of things. Up towards the top lane, we have ourselves a lane as well. It should be a pretty slow one. Nyx Assassin can definitely die to this lane of Navi, but as long as he's careful, plays in the trees, should be able to leech experience pretty much 24/7.
Yeah, he's getting some decent experience, but really struggling lots. Pikeat with the 13 denies, it's pretty insane. So Neko is actually struggling. This is one of the worst openings I've seen from an Io in some time, having this little. And so General is rotating mid with a Prophet. This is running mid as a Prophet. This is kind of rare. You got an inventory, but normally you need
Oh, Dendi, he's already at less than half HP. Charge comes in, a lot of damage. It will go down as Nico sneaks in with the balls. Dendi gonna get away from Sioma as the creeps get in the way. Not letting the Spirit Breaker close the distance. Dendi lives at 40 HP. Navi get 2 kills off of that. I mean, you sometimes expect the really cheesy Nature's Prophet TPs to come in. You don't expect the Invis rune to come in, and then suddenly 3 heroes over in the mid lane. Lina took a lot more damage than I'm sure she was prepared for.
Yeah, Navi set that up. They knew what was about to happen, or like kinda had a pretty good feeling about what was gonna happen, what Seema wanted to do, and even General rotated in early. It was pretty good. Afterlife on top lane is not gonna die, took a lot of damage. A really good play, that should have been a first blood for Vega, but it turned into a double kill for Navi. So that's a big advantage for them right now.
It's going to give Saniko a little bit more gas in the tank since he was having a little bit of struggle. General is going to get charged out of his TP, and I think they should just have enough beat down damage to kill him off here. And they will. Silent will grab that despite channeling Upheaval the entire time. Still a kill on the Nature's Prophet. Well worth it. But yeah, now the Io has just a little more experience, getting closer to that level 3 mark, and help his clearing by quite a bit, and of course has that tether. I heard Io with tether is actually pretty good. So yeah, this Io is, would you say, fully recovered, even accelerated beyond where he should be?
I think he's came back, you know. I think generally would you probably be level 4 at this stage. I think this is like about the time when you would start rotating lanes if you went Iron Talon Io, but he's had a fine game. That nice setup in mid really made this game a lot better for, especially Dendi, I think more so than Meg even. A nice teamwork on Seep. They saw that. The problem for Vega is that After is actually getting destroyed in top lane. This is a hard matchup from the beginning. Nyx is good against most heroes, but his 3 weaknesses is the Jagger, the Knights, and the third hero which I forgot, I'm sorry. But this is, yeah, Stuck is kinda, this one is worse. Ursa. Those 3 are really hard for Nyx to lane against. And Jagger has like the highest killing potential, while Ursa is the hero that you can't even stand in lane against. So he's not died, but he's not getting any lost hits. He's getting good experience though. That's like the upside of it. You probably get good experience compared to if it was on Ursa, but you're not getting any lost hits.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that Nyx Assassin the way he survives the lanes, usually that he's in the off lane, Spike Carapace keeps him safe, irrelevant up against the Blade Fury. Slow poke damage is usually not a big factor because of his high armor, poor man's shield, and regeneration. Again, not really a big deal since Juggernaut does all of his damage so quickly, and it's all magic damage from this Blade Fury, so the Juggernaut kind of has the Nyx Assassin's number, just lane matchup wise. And that is going to be a little bit of a struggle. I mean, the Breaker net worth wise has more than the Nyx, and he is, to be fair, doing his best to wander around the map and apply that pressure, but he's doing well. Gonna get the Terrorblade a pretty good time, but that's about it. Navi are doing a lot better on a lot more heroes.
Yeah, pretty early game though. Like, Terrorblade is doing great, Vina's doing good, Nyx is struggling, but other than that, it's pretty even overall. Just rotation mid now. Storm is not 6 yet. He's really gonna come down.
There's a Raccoon Blade on the Lina, for sure. An easy death. River and Saniko both coming in, and they will come in with the general Nature's Prophet as well. Silent straight TP out. Glimpse is going to bring him back. Silent's going to run to the north, charge through. I think that actually could have maybe brought him a little bit of space, but I'm not sure if he's surviving that, even if the charge does connect. Probably just kills off Sioma. Either way, it's still a 1-for-1 trade, and they will continue to keep the Storm Spirit down and continue accelerating this Lina. This kill power definitely rearing its ugly head here in favor of Vega, and now we have a 1k net worth lead in favor of this Lina over in mid. I mean, Dendi will have a slightly easier time when Ball Lightning comes up, but even then, it's not that hard for Vega to play the shadows and try to sneak in a stun to start things off. And if you land one stun, you're probably getting that kill.
Yeah, they have at least the Lina has insane damage, one of the highest damage output heroes I think in like early-ish game, and Spirit Break is a pretty good hero to set it up. The benefit of Nature's Prophet actually, Terrorblade is usually a hero that pressures the tower quite heavily, but you can't really pressure a tower against the Prophet because he can use trends to pull the aggro, as also he's generally very strong in general. Huh, very funny. But he's very good lane, so it's hard to get a tower, which is one of the advantages of a Terrorblade. So what you usually see when this happens is that Terrorblade usually rotates either to mid or to top lane this early, just to avoid the Prophet in lane and get a tower on another lane. We're not gonna see it this game, which I'm not sure if it's the correct decision. We see here teams like OG and Navi as well, but does this a lot, where it just rotates to the lane that's easy to take a tower and ignores this all safe lane.
Put in a little bit of damage over in this bot lane, but we see General now with the creeps kind of swelling beneath him, they're actually going to be able to push back a Metamorphed Terrorblade, which is damn near impossible to do with the vast majority of heroes, but General is going to make it happen thanks to that extra tree and support. Metamorph now down, and Terrorblade is just going to have to play this one a little bit slower. General will, of course, those rotations out, and once he does, Terrorblade's going to pick up on that, instantly pop Metamorph if he has it, go to town on the structures, and will eventually bring it down. But like I said, rotation for Terrorblade is really common, especially in mid lane scenarios where you're winning like this. Like, you could have your Lina and your Terrorblade just go to work and really just take down that mid tower before Navi have sort of substantial response to it. And if they do group up, Navi don't really have that much AoE to deal with a serious push.
Yeah, they're gonna have to rely on pushing one mid for sure. It's not easy to defend against Vega's straight 5-man. Vega kinda, they have good 5-man, but they kinda started moving away from the 5-man to get better catch with the Spirit Breaker and the Nyx. So I think they hit a pretty nice sweet spot in terms of the draft, where it landed and how it deals with Navi. So are we gonna see that rotation that I talked about? Pika does, they rotate to opponent's safe lane. He's TP down at least. Seems like they're gonna do that, and Vegas should probably be to just ignore and push other lanes, because I think they can push 2 lanes. Oh, Afterlife. Oh, this is the dream. No!
Almost the dream.
Oh my god.
Vendetta almost kills off the Storm Spirit. Hey, you know what? He's off the map. Not farming. It's still somewhat of a win, but as you said, the dream not quite achieved. Podcast rotation towards bottom lane. Thought they were going to make a really aggressive play on Silent, getting to a little bit of fist fight with General, but not going to make that happen just yet. Still Silent. Yeah, that's the important intel they're going to gain here. Know that he is very vulnerable. It is help coming in. He's going to start checking out people, and whoa! Okay, that was 2 ultimate to zap on that Warlock. He's super dead, but now they're in a really bad spot. General is mostly going to be focused here, and he will go down first. Pycat will slip out to the north. Everyone else from Navi going to back out as well. It's a pretty expensive trade. Vega do make their defense, and it is going to cost them a little bit of damage on the tier 1 mid, but that's pretty much negligible. Ultimately, it's just Navi going a little bit too deep. Can't instantly find the Warlock in that aggressive play.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Vega needed to do this. So I feel like they have the better trade, and they want to have a Warlock level 6 though, more than anything. While Navi,
You're gonna find the Disruptor, but this is a level 6 hero with IO support. Don't really want to mess with that. Off to the south, they're gonna focus on the Terrorblade. He does have a Sunder right now. Can he get it off? Glimpse back, still alive. Now has a chance to get that life swap in general. Looks like the field force to that. He's gonna go down as the Chaotic Offering does drop. Biver on the run. And charge. Be dead.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
yeah, ended up pretty bad. It's really hard against Terrorblade early levels. Like when you have Sunder and you want to keep like this and you focus in the Terrorblade, if you don't kill him, you're losing the fight. And kind of a fourth fight because Terrorblade just meta earlier. Oh, Sioma, that was pretty sweet actually.
Is under attack.
They're gonna trade towers, it looks like. Can G defend this? Oh, he can get a 9, I think that's...
Middle tower
Almost there. Not quite. Pycat will get the last hit. Sorry, I had to off something fierce there. Hopefully I'm not gonna die, because that will be really awkward to have you solo cast this without the camera moving. But the big issue there is that we weren't able to get all the right types of magic damage with Terrorblade. Don't really have a ton to begin with. Dendi gonna be set up upon Wrath of Nature, not gonna bounce through, but the stuns will land perfectly. Afterlife almost whipped it, but hey, it's a hit, and Dendi's gonna go down.
Yeah, pretty nice kill there. That was pretty close. He had the stick charges on, and then he almost got out. But they got a tower. So Navi traded towers efficiently. They got
Radiant's
both mid
bottom tower
and the top
is under
tower,
attack.
but they only lost bottom, and they're gonna get the bottom tower now as well without having any pressure on any lane. So this is the strong benefit of the lineup with the Prophet, the IO, and also like Storm and Jagger also pretty mobile. So this is how they want to play, which is why I kind of dislike the team they took down here, where I feel like they can force fights where they have better numbers a lot of the times. But I mean, it ended up being very good. I think maybe losing a 3 heroes for a small team fight is not that bad. You start getting this kind of advantage in the map. So in the end, it's pretty sweet for them. However, Vega are doing very good with Terrorblade and Lina on top of the network.
The game does get a lot easier for Navi once they take down just the tier 1s. Blood push wise, pick off wise, the IO and the Storm Spirit, you typically tend to have a lot more options, assuming you have some decent vision on the map. Just observe rewards, having those treants fan out from general. So making these initial tower trades, making these kind of kills or tower trades for Navi in the kind of mid-game run is definitely very worth it, assuming they do keep their aggressive style up. Right now though, everyone on Vega, actually everyone is farming their jungle. Nick Assassin now on the roam. He does have his Vendetta, but the only target presenting for Navi is Pycat in mid, and it's gonna fall back. So both sides really scared about taking a fight where they don't have that much vision. In fact, Navi right now are entirely blind, or
yeah,
mostly blind.
I was gonna talk about this. I think Vega warded maybe 4 of Navi's ward for this game, and I'm not sure how they can be. If they, I haven't really paid attention to like they see the wards being placed, or they might just know. They might have studied Navi very well and know for their behavior.
Charge, land onto the Disruptor. He does have a Static Storm, lots of damage from the ultimate. Another strike, but with the Omni Slash, a lot more damage going back towards Sioma. It will be Viver to survive and get kill. Turnaround. Relocate in. I think that's Nick Assassin to be caught as well. They will see him. Maybe not. Nighttime vision and all that, but either way, Vega will have their top lane pushed in the meantime and fail to get the kill and lose a hero of their own. That is not the type of trade they really wanted right now.
I thought it was a pretty good setup by Vega, but the raindrop actually, he tanked way more than they thought, and way more than I thought on Beaver, on the Disruptor. So, but they don't lose that much when they do this either. It's not the end of the world, sure, even though it was kind of bad, but they're farming so well on their cores. Actually, they're farming way better compared to Navi's course than I actually thought, so it's not too bad. Oh, bit of a panic move by Navi maybe, or are they gonna work out?
Well, comes back into the stat storm. Afterlife will drop to half. That is a perfectly reasonable amount of HP for him to be at. Terrorblade already used Metamorph, and he's gonna go to town on this mid lane tower. Seems like Vega Squadron looking to leverage this Warlock ultimate for a little bit of extra gain here. So of course, as you said, Terrorblade is hacked out of his mind, and they will actually catch the Disruptor off the side. Burn out his mana. He already used his ultimate, so he's not that useful right now. Split push from Navi on the top lane from General. Pretty good, but they're not winning or running stuff against the Terrorblade.
Gonna go for the knife I got.
Dyer's middle tower has fallen.
General need to get out now though. I think it's
Radiant's top
safe.
tower is under attack.
This is like how the game is gonna look for a time, I think, where Vega kind of pushed and then Navi tried to split push, and then it's like a game of Skillbreaker charging someone and then having Nyx follow. Then Vega gotta be careful about leaving too many, so that like if there's only 3 people left, Navi can just teamfight them 5 vs 3, and even if Vega's stronger teamfight, they're gonna lose. It's gonna be a lot of like cat and mouse between what movement and what team will do proper. That was a smoke from Navi that Vegas covered completely. Optus is gonna break the smoke, and that's gonna be a bit of wasted time. You see Terrorblade just getting further and further ahead all the time, even though Navi are all playing silent.
Lots of rotation
Oh,
onto
this
this
is deep.
Warlock. And Dendy's gonna arrive as well. Grabs him before he can get the rock to drop. She's going to arrive, but straight into a static storm. This Lina's tanky, but will end up going down. Will kill herself at least. And will be another glimpse back onto the Nyx Assassin. Right clicks there. That was a little bit awkward, but still they right clicked him down. That's gonna be a 2 kill for Navi plus a deny on the Lina. Dropping her Bloodstone charges, taking her off the field.
Radiant's top
This is
tower
a pretty
is under attack.
bold move from Vega Squadron to group up around that Warlock that much and try to save him. I mean, it is just a Warlock. General's gonna get charged by Sioma, but Dendy's still here. Sioma probably doesn't expect that. Wrath Nature going to throw it. Not gonna land just here. General, that like Lita coming in with the Laguna will end up getting the kill. Dendy, not enough gas tank to go full hog there, and we'll just back off.
Yeah, pretty good from Navi overall, even though the fight before was definitely that was close though. If Silent got a golem out, I'm pretty sure they would have died at least 3 people on Navi and probably only gotten Silent. So, but they kind of have to play on the edge like this. They kind of need to, like, generally when Warlock is in the game, the other team almost always have killed Warlock before your ultimates, otherwise you're losing the fight. Unless you're very far ahead. Fight cut in mid lane, this is a weird fight.
Dyer's top tower is under
here.
attack.
This seems very risky from Navi.
Well, they don't have the Storm Spirit. General is gonna teleport behind him and then drum to run away.
Classic.
Sure. I mean, he has drum and base, so he is pretty quick.
Dyer's
A little bit
top
awkward
tower
move.
has fallen.
They couldn't time their top lane anyway, so I don't mind them trying to make that play, but you're really not going to kill that Terrorblade unless you have the Storm Spirit. You need that extra pull to make sure it doesn't sunder. You need his magic damage, which...
Then they almost got a DD, but Offlight stole it. Offlight is actually doing really bad. You see his level, like, this is not good.
Is this spread of farm concerning if you're Vega? Like, yes, you're Terrorblade and you're Lina, they're mega stacked, but with Navi's pickoff style, having 3 heroes without farm seems like a much larger liability than normal.
I generally I think this would be fine, but Nyx is like extremely underfarmed. If Nyx was like maybe let's say 2k network up, it would be fine, or like maybe 1.5k network up, it would be fine. But this is an extreme. See, Nyx is bottom 3. This is not good, and they really need to utilize the Terrorblade to bring up the other heroes of the Vega, and that's what they're looking to do. Somewhat. General seems like he's gonna get picked off. He doesn't really have an escape here.
From phase run. Well, not gonna run far enough. And who's gonna get the last hit? Yeah, it'll be the Terrorblade sneaking it in. And the way that Terrorblade funnels gold back into his teammates, Metamorph take team fights, Metamorph to take towers, and they're in a pretty good position to do that up towards top lane. And we see Navi immediately jumping into action. They were smoking, looking for kind of a greedy play over in mid lane, expecting a hero to defend that. will instead just go down towards bottom and, again, try to do what damage they can. Damage from Pycat, since pick up Mana Stars, is pretty substantial. I'm kind of surprised at this. Beaver's going to teleport up towards top lane. Are they really looking for a fight here? They're looking for a deny? I don't even know if Vega saw that or care. Well, okay, they definitely saw it, because now Beaver is going to get charged, still stunned, will land. Nether Strike will be cancelled, but Reflection, slowdown, and Terrorblade damage. That was an extremely hopeful play for him. Now going towards bottom lane. They're going to jump in towards G. Chaotic Offering going to land onto pretty much everyone. However, G still alive. LSA onto 3, but he's still surrounded. We'll get the kill on Pycat, and still in the middle of the fight, still swinging. Is that a really healthy amount of AP? Dendy gonna have to get the hell out of there. He can't compete up against Terror. Now, General can try TP as well. Damage output. Well, they have an Impale. They'll get him down. And Navi, they escape with the Storm Spirit. But going all in on a hero with Bloodstone like that, this Lina refusing to die, and Navi grouped up just a little bit too much. Chaotic Offering and LSA. Chain stuns the entire team.
Yeah, that was pretty good response by Vega. Silent especially had really good positioning and TP properly. He has actually a quelling base, so he's cutting trees a little bit to get even better positioning. But great upheaval as well, and when you land a rock like that, you're most likely losing the team fight. General, when you TP in with a hero like this behind the lines, you're committed. You're either killing all of them or you're dying. And then they didn't want to man up the fight. It actually could have been pretty interesting if he just stayed and tried to like almost die to kill because they were getting low with General ultimate coming in. But it's such a hard decision to stay, and I think he made the right get out there. And now we're gonna do a really good play here though. They know that Golem is down. Meta is down, you need to get something, you can't just go back to market, so they're gonna go for the move. And I do not think Vega has any way to respond to this.
Yoma's just gonna wander right on by. Gonna bother and over towards mid lane. Nick Assassin got caught.
This is great by
With the Static Storm with the jump in from Dendy, they'll get a kill and they'll get the double life for Pycat. And a little bit of split push from the Terrorblade, nothing that IO can't handle. Navi taking a rough team fight, very rough team fight over in the bottom lane. At least get something for their trouble, and we'll see if Pycat's actually able to leverage this Aegis and anything useful. Sioma is going to present himself to Beaver, now tracked up with a Thunderstrike, so he's not going anywhere. He's going to get back in. The 4 heroes, no chance for that, my friend. There's a pullback, and they have a ping out on G as well. TP coming in from General, almost perfect. Lina is fast, so she'll get out of there just fine.
Yeah, she actually picked up a blink there. I'm not sure if she did it right when she saw General TP, but she at least had it when she escaped. Now we lost a big team fight bottom lane, but this is like already back to even. Unfortunately, I do not have graph buttons, and I do not know what my binds for those graphs are, and I'm super scared of doing something stupid if I try and press.
Just press player functions and something will happen.
Yeah, something will happen. I'm pretty scared of that.
Yeah, it was a big spike for Vega, about 6,000, 7,000, but now it's starting to bend back towards Navi.
Yeah, I think the game is probably gonna look a bit like that for some time, and of the life is gonna get out. But especially the great play was they were roaching, and then Beaver just let roach bait. He's like, okay, we can get more, and he set up the kill on Afterlife. That's like the extra that you get that really starts making a big difference. Because I talked about how underfarmed Afterlife was. He was like, I need this farm. I know they're roaching. They're most likely roaching. They have to be roaching. I'm just gonna push this mid lane. They're probably gonna just D5 there because they're scared of us. And he's getting close to the blink, but Navi decide that they just like it as well. Then
speaking of killing him, Dendy, there's so many stuns here. He'll be very lucky if he's able to die himself. It's not gonna happen. TP's coming in on math though. Silent is gonna glimmer himself up to the north, and Pycat got left behind. TP coming out of his backpack. He's gonna run into a Terrorblade and then try to straight. So much damage! Look at the DPS. We're Aegis now. He'll respawn.
Oh, they're going for this. They're really getting in.
I'm not really sure if this is the right decision because Pycat's not gonna last long after the LSA. Now Saniko, he is in the back and he should not be there either. At least Terrorblade isn't hitting him. He's actually gonna try to get into the trees, but no chance for him either. Navi, they're expected to lose these team fights, but the fact they're still trying to go for them is a little bit stunning to me. And now they're going to go for General, who's, pretty much doing exactly what he has to do right now. Split push in the meantime, but he's tracked up by the charge. He's not going anywhere, at least not as long as Sioma's on his ass. And General will fall as well. Everyone except the Disruptor ends up dying for Navi, and they get a big fat goose egg.
Yeah, that was not good
Radiant's
for
middle tower
Navi.
is
Losing
under attack.
Pike up is one thing, because that's I would call that unlucky. I think I expected him to get out of there, and then they could kill him. Okay, you can't do much about that. It was pretty unexpected. But now General here as well. He was kind of baiting so that Dandy and Beaver could come, but they were not close enough. And now it ended up Beaver and then they're rotating to save General. General dies either way, and they just waste the 40 seconds that they could have farmed. And they are losing grip over this game pretty rapidly now. However, Navi's lineup is a lineup that can like one team fight and in a minute just straight up win the game, no matter how far behind they are.
No mistake, they are very far behind, and it's starting to get to a point where you have to question for Navi, how the hell do they kill this terrible kid? He is really, really fat right now. Not the most defensive power from his allies in order to save the Terrorblade, no dazzle shenanigans or anything like that, but he has so much health. He has the mobility for Hurricane Pike, and Navi, their magic damage is not really quite as high as you really want it to be, picking up a Disruptor and Io, mostly utility-based supports, not really damage-based supports. The nature is great. They do have the Orchid as well to maybe help that out, but this Terrorblade is really difficult to kill, and Navi should be able to get to the back lines, kill off the non-Terrorblade, non-Lina heroes fairly rapidly, but it seems like every single time they've tried, they just clumped up a little bit too much, and you all know what happens when you do that up against Warlock. Bad things happen. They are doing what they have to, Navi, but I don't know, with the Terrorblade kind of camping out in the dire jungle, he's able to push top and mid, about as well as Navi are able to push bot.
Yeah, off the line, he knows people are here, he has Vendetta. See if they can manage to find a kill. He's kind of scared of running out though, because Beaver was there, he knew that, and he'll probably send this down somewhere. However, they aren't. I think he will find Beaver.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this Disruptor is dead.
So.
The Afterlife do most of the work there, and we'll get the kill. It's another small casualty, perhaps, least net worth in the game, this Disruptor. But for Navi, the question is always, like, yeah, we got a hero picked off. What are we gaining in that downtime? And it seems like most of the time it's going to be General getting the farm. As you would expect, Nature's Prophet is just going to be in those empty lanes.
Oh, really?
He is very farmed. He's going to teleport in for Sioma. Charge in is going to slow down the IO, but up against 3, Sioma doesn't have any backup this time. Vega are going to let this one go.
Yeah, good rotation. Navi needs to avoid this Terrorblade. This Terrorblade is too big to fight. You should more not even think about fighting him unless he's more or less alone. Even if he's alone and there's a Warlock behind to like 3-4 man golem, you could probably win the team fight against 5 of Navi. So you really need to play really good on Navi now, and this is how I talked about the lineup of Vega, that they started going for like a team fight with the opening, and they started adjusting to Navi's top and got these sneaks and free breaking, start picking people off and hindering the split push of Navi. And this is really paying off in this game, where they just have these two heroes chasing kills. If they die or if they don't find anything, it doesn't matter, because this Terrorblade is gonna be unstoppable for them.
Speaking of Terrorblades, gets another free kill on the General, and somehow even getting glimpse back. I mean, whatever works, man. General will fall regardless. Yeah, despite how kind of underfarmed this Nyx, the Spearbreaker are, they're also serving to kind of activate the Terrorblade split push power, which is really what we see a lot from the hero as far as, oh, you know, pick Terrorblade for split push, but if he's able to get into an aggressive position with a lot of heroes scouting out with, you will very quickly be able to push in all the lanes, and is going to go for real on the high ground. Nico's going to take an absolute beat. They drop the Static Storm, not bad, but it's not going to stop the right clicks. It will go down afterwards. Omnislash will bounce Pycat really deep in. He does not want to be here, and he's just going to get shredded. Where's the help? It's all dead. Io's going to relocate out, but he's going to return into a Terrorblade. That is not a good place to be. And Dendi has not moved yet. He's just been waiting for his team to get their shit together, and so far they've just been chain feeding. They are going to get back with the Io into an Elsa and a rock. Drops onto Dendi as well. With the Impale Chain Stun, can they bring him down before the ball? Yes, they will be able to. No buybacks on Navi. This is one set of Raxes at least. With the push to Terrorblade, it might just be 2.
As soon as this lineup gets to a point like this, unless you can be able to force split push or anything, you're probably losing the game. I think Vega are gonna go for the triple Rax even. Storm is soon. They're gonna fall. Okay, this is good, because Storm is really good at picking people up around this base. In mid lane, they're gonna kill General instead.
General silenced G with the Orchid, and then just started right-clicking the tower. So mission success for General, I suppose. Tower down, but at this point, a little bit of tier 2 tower gold is going to do little to nothing to stem the bleeding from losing a team fight, then 2 sets of racks. And the fact that Sean is going to be coming up soon doesn't exactly help Navi either.
Oh wow, this is even worse. There's a DD here for
Jeez.
Terrorblade.
I love it when I find plus 200 damage runes in the jungle. Great.
They're lucky. The DD is gonna run out before meta, so there's no insane timing. If that would have been the case, it would probably just been straight game over. But I think they're gonna use this timing still, even if it doesn't have meta. He's gonna kill towers in like 3 seconds if there's not a glyph.
Also has a butterfly, so even more agility funneling into those illusions. The DD may not get much value here, but he doesn't really need to hit with the main hero. Bold move here from Navi, wrapping around with the element surprise. What they have to do, they're going to try to go for Sioma. Omni Slash is going to be reflected, I think, with the Lotus Orb, and now the Spirit Breaker is A-OK. Pycat's separated, and he's going to run into a Terrorblade, but that's, again, where he does not want to be. Sioma still alive somehow, and the Terrorblade is untouched, just right everyone down. Dendi may not die to him, but he will have Afterlife on his tail. He in general going to run off to the south as G's cleaning up fools in the back lines. He'll boot to travel, try to get back in. Dendi will get hit with a pretty heavy mana burn here. Silence onto the and Lina is back. Laguna Blade onto Dendi. She still didn't actually use that. Very surprising. General going to try to live, but that's not going to happen. It's going to be a full wipe in favor of Vega. And in the meantime, Terrorblade had his eyes on the prize. He'll make it a full team wipe almost. 29-12, and Vega Squadron, off the back of a very farmed TB and Lina, just smash Navi.
Yeah, really well played. I think this was built up from the draft. I wouldn't say Navi got out drafted, but this is the line. Like I thought, Navi played this almost exact lineup, and Vega more or less had decided before the game even started how to respond, and they just executed their draft. Very good. I wouldn't say perfectly, because Navi did some really good plays as well at times, but it's just too hard to really get a good grip of this game for them. They need to outplay Vega pretty hard to get in an even state in this game.